Hello, and welcome back to the Lean In podcast, the number one
Listen to
podcast
podcasts worldwide.
worldwide, both in crime, fiction,
Korea.
Korea, and Japanese architecture
And anime.
and anime.
Wait, have you heard of the Joe Rogan Experience? It actually stands for Lean In Podcast.
Yeah. I think we're actually getting Joe Rogan next week, guys. So
He is actually going to be on next week's podcast.
yeah, so be warned, it's gonna get
Freaky in here.
freaky.
Oh no, Ryan, keep talking to the people. I'm going to flip my camera because it looks like I'm talking away from you.
Right. So DMT, guys. DMT is what's synthesized in a hallucinogenic drug. And,
What are you talking about?
and Joe Rogan is a big fan of that, and the whole general
What?
public should be on DMT at all times.
What are you talking about?
It's what he talks about on his podcast. It's like the quintessential Joe Rogan experience.
I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Joe Rogan
He
Experience.
actually genuinely does. I'm not making this up.
I have no idea what's going on. I like the episodes of Joe Rogan Experience where they get Forrest Galante on, the biologist. He's cool.
Oh, is he?
The biologist? Natural? I don't know what his title is.
Wait, can you look him up real quick?
He's got a big beard.
Oh,
And he always he had the lion story. He caught that lion.
Yeah.
And essentially Joe just gets him on so he can ask him all these theories about things that are still alive.
Wait, is he the mushroom guy as well, or no?
I don't know. Maybe
Ah.
could be. I like pasta.
You like pasta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, anyway, welcome back to the
I like
vibes
that
of the podcast.
like just before this, we're like, all right, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this.
Don't tell the people how disorganized we are.
Well, DCEU.
Oh
Just
yeah,
very quick news flash.
it's down the top. Well, so it's not the DCEU anymore. It's now they're going to call it the DCU. Is the new?
Oh.
They're losing the E.
What was the E again? Like,
I think it's expanded.
oh,
DC expanded universe.
For some reason, I was thinking entertainment. I don't know
I
why.
mean, that would make sense too.
Yeah.
So if anyone missed it, I mean, if you've been living under a rock, DC's rebooting in that they are recasting everyone in their universe, asterisks, on that. Not everyone.
Yeah.
But they're rebooting the entire thing. So but what we thought was going to happen was that this year of movies, the 4 movies that DC releases this year, were going to be the last ones, and then they were going to reboot.
Yes.
Turns out that's not true. So James Gunn put up a video yesterday on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere, on his personal thing, and DC shared it, essentially with the plan. So my interpretation of what's been said, which is he's a little bit vague at sometimes, but some of the clear things are the 4 movies coming out this year are within the new DCU.
Oh.
So Shazam 2
Is
in the new DCU.
The new one.
and
Aquaman.
the rationale being... I haven't seen the first Shazam. I am going to watch it before the new one.
It's actually alright. Yeah.
I think I'm going to like it from what I've seen about it. That his rationale is Shazam's always been a separate part of the DCEU, even when it was the DCEU. He's
Yeah,
quite
that's true.
separate and apart. The Flash will reboot the universe. So in June, that movie reboots the DC universe. There's rumors going around they're going to keep Ezra Miller as the Flash, which I think is very bold and stupid.
Are they going to film in a prison?
I love you so much. I love you so much.
Right.
Probably.
Filming location. Nevada prison.
Or
State
a
prison.
rehab facility. So, sorry, I'm not making light of struggle. But what I am making light of is making light of real events, which
Yes.
which DC would do by keeping Ezra Miller, because you're making light of serious offences and things he's done in the real world. That's a nightmare. I hope they don't do that. After that is Blue Beetle, a character I've never heard of in my life. Apparently, it was shot with no connection to the DCEU, so it can stay.
Nice.
So,
Alright.
cool. And then what's the last movie of the year? Aquaman 2.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
The talk seems to be Jason Momoa stays as Aquaman, which I think is a very bold call if that is true.
Yeah.
Because why not keep then everyone from
Yeah, like, Henry Cavill,
Gal
Gal
Gadot.
Gadot.
Gadot. Yeah, I know how to pronounce your name. Love you if you're watching, Gal.
She's so watching this. She's so watching this.
This is the premier GCU podcast that there is in the world.
Yeah, we see one viewer from Israel.
Is she from Israel?
Yeah, she's from Israel.
Does she live in Israel or she's from Israel?
She's just from it. I don't know if she's actually living there.
It's because it's like Logan Paul. Logan Paul works out of America but lives in
Israel.
No, Cuba, I think.
What?
Yeah, because tax purposes, he gains way more money a year if he's living in Cuba technically than. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, that was a random thing. So, the DCU. What we do know, Superman's out, Henry Cavill's gone, Gal Gadot's gone. Looks like Peacemaker remains. So Peacemaker universe, I haven't seen the first season. I want to watch it. I really want to watch it.
I want to watch it too, but I've seen good things.
But then if Peacemaker remains, hence Suicide Squad must remain, no? Because that's the movie that he is. Or do they just delete that cast?
Ugh.
So, and the other interesting thing is Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. She runs the Suicide Squad in the new movie, and she's the one. She's the African American woman. She keeps popping up, and like she was in Black Adam as well briefly. She's back. She plays Waller again. Waller gets a friggin' show in the new. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the projects, and I'll read them out for everybody.
Wait, where's the show going to be premiering on?
So I assume it's all going to be HBO Max.
Oh, so that's binge. All right.
Which, is not... That's not... Okay, so Superman Legacy gets announced. 2025. Yes, it's going to come out in the same year as Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Wow.
So, I don't know if that's the smartest move to put it there, but each their own. Young Superman. This movie will be PG-13? Okay, well, that's an L already. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow gets a movie. Supergirl.
What's the description? I don't have my
It's essentially Kara, the character with a K, grew up on a piece of Krypton that drifted away from the planet. She watched everyone around her die. Essentially, she's like if Superman didn't get the loving upbringing that he got, a very jaded, maybe not a villain, but a very cynical,
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That was a different
story.
A
Batman movie announced. Batman, Brave and the Bold.
Ooh.
A new Batman, obviously, not Robert Pattinson. The Batman will still be made. It'll be an Elseworld, not connected. So there'll be two Batman movies coming out in 2025. That's probably what's going to happen.
I really don't like the direction. I really don't like that.
I think it's so bad. Anyway,
I think they should just incorporate the Batman.
Swamp Thing.
Oh, yes. That's... Sorry.
It's such a... It's funny that they're making a Swamp Thing just after we met Man-Thing in Marvel, their version. Anyway, The Authority got announced, which was apparently Wildstorm characters. It's a thing I've never heard of. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Creature Commandos, an animated series written by James Gunn. Okay, cool. Paradise Lost, a Game of Thrones type story about Themyscira, the island that Wonder Woman grows up in, that society. So that means we'll probably see a first
style of that.
Well, the comic it's based on, apparently, like the cover of it has the women of Themyscira stabbing guys in the neck. It's brutal.
That's brutal.
That might be good. That's the only thing so far that I've actually gone. That sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
3 additional series. Waller, a new series based on Waller, in between Peacemaker Season 1 and 2. So it apparently will connect both, which I'm confused about because I thought Season 2 was already filming. So, I don't... Or, as in, maybe it connects them in that Season 2 will release before Waller.
I have no idea.
Anyway, Lanterns, a true detective-like series that follows intergalactic cops and Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
That actually sounds pretty dope. I actually like that.
It does sound dope, but the Green Lantern is so lame.
But, it's not just about...
I know.
Yeah, that guy. Because he's just a typical white
the world's
dude.
lame. like all the rings and like it's
Yeah.
stupid. But anyway, that could be good.
Yeah, you're
Booster
right.
Gold.
It sucks.
Booster Gold got announced, a story of a superhero with imposter syndrome who uses technologies from the future to pretend to be a superhero.
Ah.
That sounds interesting. Gunn says, this is the best bit, let's see what happens regarding Ezra Miller's future as the Flash.
That's wow. Way to keep it ominous.
Let's see what happens. When the time is right, we'll have a conversation. I saw DC said that he's making progress with rehab and stuff, and it's looking good.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, cool. I didn't realize you could just
Comment
do
on
that.
Yeah. That's nuts.
All right, so these are everything else.
I heard,
Warner
actually,
Brothers.
very quick, I heard
Yep.
James Gunn, he has watched the new Flash movie.
Yeah, the greatest comic book movie
ever made. Yeah.
So,
But
so
it's also like...
when you make your own stuff
yeah,
and you say it's really
yeah,
good.
Yeah. He's putting it on, like the Obama meme where he puts it on himself.
I think I saw that meme used for this.
Yeah. Good job, guys. And it's just himself.
So one of the best comic book movies ever. So that would include like Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man: No Way Home,
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, The
Yeah,
Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Like it would be a very big call.
Yeah, that is a huge call to make.
We'll see. Here are the other things that are Elseworlds. So not connected
Okay.
to the DCU that are continuing. So Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, we've said that they are probably linked in somehow.
Yeah.
But these are the things... Oh, and Peacemaker Season 2. These are the Elseworlds. Joker, Folie à Deux. I don't know how to pronounce the French.
Yeah.
Or if it's Italian, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Whatever it is.
French.
That's
Folie
Joker
à
2 with Todd Phillips directing and Joaquin Phoenix back as Arthur.
Penning? Something...
Anyway, Joker.
Arthur Joker.
Arthur Joker. The Batman 2, which we don't know any more about. Matt Reeves is writing. I don't think we've heard, if there's a new villain.
I'm excited for that.
If it's Joker, if it's just a completely new villain and we do Joker in the third one, if they make a third one, I don't know. The Gotham Knights, CW. So that CW show seems to continue, even though it's got no connection to...
Wow.
Superman and Lois will continue.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
And Pennyworth, the HBO Max show about Alfred, will continue. So, also, James Gunn says Henry Cavill wasn't fired, just not hired.
That's pretty much like...
That's the same thing in show business.
But here's the thing: Henry Cavill was told that he's coming back, and
so he was fired.
He was actually in the suit and everything, and then they went.
Turn your ears off if you haven't seen Black Adam. 3, 2, 1. Henry Cavill appears as Superman in Black Adam. He shot a return scene. He appears in the film. So he does get fired because you told him not to come back.
I love that the writers and the directors of Black Adam, they're like, okay, we're gonna try fix the DCEU. We're gonna try,
I think they did a pretty good job too with trying to fix it, and then they went, no.
Yeah, no.
So, just briefly before we move on to other things, I think the big mistakes, in my opinion, that they've done here with the DCEU is as follows. Number one, the Henry Cavill stuff.
Yeah.
Like getting rid of him and Gal Gadot, I think was a big mistake.
Yeah, I have a personal bias to that too. I love Henry Cavill.
And I think I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, which pulled in all of those kind of DCEU stories. Henry Cavill's, as we currently stands, a perfect Superman, even at his age.
Definitely.
Even at the age he is. Now, if they want to do a young...
He's 40 now?
Yes.
Or is it like late 30s?
Either late 30s. But he could still do it another 10 years.
Oh,
really.
For sure.
But, look, I know what they want to do. They want to reboot and do a younger Superman story. Why don't you cast someone else to play a younger Henry Cavill? And then have Henry Cavill as the adult Superman in the new DCU?
Yeah, he's nearly 40. He's 39.
I think the other mistakes, some of those things that they announced. Oh, I've had arguments with people on Instagram and Facebook about this. The Batman movie that's coming, Batman Brave and the Bold, the new DCU Batman, will do a Robin story. A Robin I have not heard of, and I'm not a comics Robin, they're doing massive comics fan. They're doing Damian Wayne as Robin, Bruce Wayne's son. In that comic run, he has a son who becomes an assassin, and he's trying to bring him in as a teen. It doesn't sound terribly bad. We haven't done any of the other Robins well in live action. Why would you bite off a new Robin? Like,
I'll get this up.
you can't. That
Wait, what?
as in, like, there's a knob on the right there that like adjusts how flexed it is.
Oh, how flexed.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's an L. Just undo it.
Undo it.
Yeah, like it's a knob. Bit like you. So, turning our chat, have I put it on really tight, have I? Are you dying?
It's alright. That's alright. Don't worry.
So, the talk of all the town, The Last of Us.
Ooh,
we're going to talk a
yes.
little bit about it now without spoilers. No spoilers at all. We're not going to talk much about it.
Have we talked about, like, did we talk about the first episode?
I don't think we have, because it was over 3 weeks ago. We talked. They did the last podcast, and there's only 3 episodes. So they come out weekly. In Australia, they're on binge. If you haven't caught The Last of Us already, it's great. You really should jump into it. It's the biggest show at the moment, easily.
It's
based on the video game of the same name.
You can watch the whole first episode on YouTube for free.
Oh, really?
They've released it, yeah.
Wow.
Because it's doing that well, I
Wow.
reckon. Yeah.
And it's already got greenlit a second season, which is kind of crazy.
It's beautiful.
So,
Okay.
just non-spoilers, your general impression.
Oh, yeah. So worth the watch. Like, I mean...
Have you played the game?
I've watched people play it.
Okay.
I watched my brother play it. Play a lot of it. And I know the general gist of the story.
Yeah.
And they do follow along,
From what I've read pretty well.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is completely off the rails, and it's done its own thing with episode 3. But arguably, episode 3 is the best episode so far. So
episode 1, I'd rate it like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then
it was hard not to pay attention very strictly. Like, you were very invested from the first couple minutes of the first episode.
I love how it's shot. Like, I think it's beautiful cinematography. Number 2, also a 9.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
The same.
And
they all feel very consistent. You don't feel like you're watching something they shot like days later, or like it feels like it could have been a movie. If they cut all the episodes so far together, they don't feel like there's different tone or different directors of episodes, or like it's just very. And then episode 3 was just one of the best episodes of television I've watched for a very long time. I was so invested from maybe 10 minutes in, and right through the end. They showed such care and a very delicate touch in telling a very beautiful human story. You've got, guys, if you haven't seen an episode of The Last of Us, you need to jump on it. They're about an hour, sometimes a little bit more than an hour episode. Just get up to date and then watch them weekly. You'll love the show. Stick with it. I know some people don't love certain subject matter, like it is about an infection, but it's got nothing really to do with the infection. It's a story about the people, a story about loss, about love. And hope. 100%. Totally agree. Yeah. So stick with it. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I think once you hit episode 3, you'll probably be hooked.
Yeah. And the beauty of it, I think, is that, like, it's capturing, obviously it's based off the game and everything, but it's capturing like this huge wide audience now. Yeah. There's a massive audience, like not of just gamers, but like everybody that is that have just heard about it. Oh, Last of Us, all right.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Oh, it's HBO's new big show, and it's like
my dad was watching it, and he's heard of Last of Us. He's just like, oh, that's a thing. He doesn't know what it is. And he was watching it, and he was like, wow, that was insane. Like, the first episode, he was just like, this is crazy. This is so good.
It's got all the, like, hallmarks of a high-budget show. They're like $11 or $15 million an episode. Like, it's a big budget.
Oh, yeah.
But it also has the creativity of more of, like, an indie thing. Like, it's a funny mix of, like, there's a lot of passion in the creative team. The performances are great. I love Pedro, obviously. He's fantastic. Yes. Bella Ramsey as Ellie is great. Anna Torv, I love.
Yes.
As Tess.
Yes. She's Aussie. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. My dad actually recognised her from a show they watched ages ago called Fringe. She was in that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's funny, small world.
That's so cool.
I love that thing where you're like, I know that actor, and then you try to find them.
Yeah,
but check out The Last of Us. Sometime we might have to do a spoiler deep dive.
Yeah.
Maybe halfway through the season we'll do like a chat, a mid-season kind of. I don't know if there's going to be a mid-season. I don't think there is a mid-season break.
So, yeah.
I think it just.
How many episodes?
9. So
9.
6 to go.
That's
and then around
size.
episode 8, we get Mandalorian season 3. So
wow.
It's a great time for
Pedro
TV.
Pascal.
Pedro, man.
He's just... I watched last night The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I'm so keen.
Dude.
I'm so keen. I was going to watch it in theatre, actually, because
Oh,
I was
really?
like, it looked funny as hell.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just on binge. You can watch it on my account if you want. Yeah, it's... Oh, man. Pedro Pascal in it as well. Yeah, he's just popping off, man. He's just really... Like, I think everybody's really valuing, like, wow, Pedro has this huge range.
Late in his career, too, because he's not a young man.
No.
The first time I'd seen him in anything was Game of Thrones as Oberon. Oberon? Yeah, Oberon. Trying to think of... It's been a while.
Tyrell?
No, he wasn't from that house. He was the Viper people.
Yeah.
The Sand Snakes.
The Sand Snakes, yeah.
Yeah. But he was the something Viper. Because that was his title, because he was the prince.
Yes.
Anyway, he has a... I love... Without... slight... Bella Ramsey and Pedro were both on Game of Thrones, for anyone who doesn't know. I saw a very funny video of both of them talking about their last scene on those shows and comparing, which is hilarious.
Oh, really?
That's a really funny video if you go check that out.
That's such a unique experience to have, like, for both of them.
Totally, because she was like 11 when they filmed that, because she's 19 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She was a child when she filmed that. And yeah, Pedro, I think he's in his 50s.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's killing it. It's funny that they've found... And the Mandalorian put a lot of faith in him to be the lead character and kind of carry that franchise as well. And he's killing it. So
they've got the team from Chernobyl.
Yes, and that you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. Chernobyl's also, by the way, if you want 6 hours of great entertainment, 6 one-hour episodes, watch Chernobyl. One of easily the best shows of that year. I can't think if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah. I think it was 2019.
What?
Yeah. Like, for real.
No.
Because I remember, I think I watched it before I went overseas.
2019. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it has a 9.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Great show.
Well,
so Ryan had an idea for the rest of this podcast.
Yeah, let's sideline into chat. Okay, so
intro this, Ryan, for us.
If you haven't heard of ChatGPT, check it out. It's honestly like really advanced, and some people are even thinking that it could crumble a few things. Like, so you can ask it to write an essay for you. If you want to.
Don't do that.
Yeah, like, no, seriously.
Don't do that.
I mean, don't do that.
But if you want, like, it'd be a great use for, like, you know, when you're trying to populate things, like, you're like making a website or, like,
your
YouTube channel, like, filling in things by giving it some of the key terms and ideas you want and then trying to... So it's an AI. For anyone who doesn't know, it's an AI...
Yeah, my friend who works in a hospital, who works in admin as well as on the floors, he uses ChatGPT to write work emails.
What?
Yeah, like just entire work emails that and he's like, oh, this is just much better than what I could do. And it just details it much better.
I'm going to start. So we've got it on the screen so people can hear it. And if you're listening along, we'll read out the responses.
But what I've been using it for mainly is just writing the most ridiculous stories that you can. So say, hey, can you write me a story with these prompts? And you
just to start, I just need to know, how do you host a Minecraft server?
Let's
see if she knows.
Very important.
What?
Yeah,
So
it
she's
does
telling
it.
us the step one: download the server software from official Minecraft, open the server file, optionally edit the server.properties, open port 25565 in your firewall, invite players to connect with the IP. Very good, thank you, host.gp. So what I do? How to?
So it's open source. So like, so it learns from the internet, but it also learns from what people put into it.
Yeah, okay. You
Yeah.
have quite a database of information.
Yeah.
What should I ask it, Ryan?
Hey, can you write me a story with, and then just make up random prompts like,
As in, like, with these prompts?
yeah, with these prompts.
Obviously, a ninja.
Yep, ninja. Thanos.
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 A stray dog.
Working out. Sweat.
Sweat.
And
Canada.
And Canada. Okay. And just like and let it go from there. Then you can.
Once upon a time, there was a ninja named Tomo who lived in Canada. He was an expert in martial arts and stealth, but his true passion was working out.
Like that's pretty much the same thing.
Every day, Tomo would train tirelessly, pushing himself to the limit. His sweat would pour down his face as he completed one grueling set after another. One day, as Tomo was running through the streets of Toronto, that's in Canada, well done, AI,
Yes.
he stumbled upon a stray dog. The dog was skinny and hungry, and Tomo could tell that it needed a home. Without hesitation, Tomo took the dog in and named him Max. From that day forward, Max became Tomo's training partner, accompanying him on runs and working out alongside him. However, their peaceful life was soon disrupted by the arrival of Thanos, the Mad Titan. Thanos had come to Canada in search of the Infinity Stones. And he was willing to destroy anything and anyone who got in his way. Tomo knew that he had to stop Thanos and protect the people of Canada.
Oh, just Canada.
Using his ninja skills, Tomo set out to track Thanos and gather intelligence on his whereabouts. With Max by his side, Tomo was able to infiltrate Thanos' inner circle and gather crucial information. But when it came time to take action, Tomo realized that he couldn't do it alone. With the help of his friends and fellow ninja warriors, Tomo formed a plan to take down Thanos once and for all. They trained harder than ever, pushing themselves to the limits. And when the day finally came, they struck with all their might. In the heat of battle, Tomo's sweat mixed with the tears of joy as he and his friends were able to...
Tears of joy.
So this is mixed with tears of joy as he and his friends were able to defeat Thanos and save Canada. Max proved to be a valuable ally, using his keen senses to help Tomo in the fight. From that day forward, Tomo and Max continued to train together, but now with a new purpose. They were no longer just working out for themselves, but for the safety of their home and the people they loved. And as they ran through the streets of Toronto, sweat pouring down their faces...
See, it really focuses on the sweat that you get.
They knew that they were ready for anything that may come their way.
Wait, okay.
Well done, ChatGPT. Right. GPT. You're so close to the camera. And you own both cameras, so you... I don't know why you should get me to type this. Sauron. Emma Watson.
Love triangle.
No. I don't.
Redemption.
Emma Watson.
The trail.
Put Emma Watson in there.
Emma Watson.
Grogu.
Grogu. Like, just think of like
A place. We need a place.
more themes.
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Just like let's
Oh,
get
theme.
it as convoluted as possible.
A theme.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, love.
Don't put that in there. What else could we put in there? We could put.
Racial issues.
No, we're not putting that in there. Put geopolitics.
Yeah, geopolitics. Law. Psychology.
Borders.
Borders.
Food shortages.
Famine.
Infection.
Yeah. Pandemic.
What else could we could put in there? Women and children.
Women and children. Okay,
Let's see that. All right, this is gonna be a great story. Okay, how are you already writing?
it just knows.
Once upon a time, in a world torn apart by famine, pandemic, and geopolitical turmoil, a young woman named Emma Watson lived in Tokyo. She was a brilliant psychologist. Hold on, it's gone off the rails. It's learning. Studying the borders between love and hate, law and redemption. Emma was in the midst of a love triangle. Torn between two powerful men, Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor, and Voldemort, the leader of the Death Eaters. Sauron was known for his cunning and his thirst for power, whilst Voldemort was feared for his cruelty and his ambition to conquer the world. Despite their differences, they were both deeply in love with Emma and would stop at nothing to win her heart. Meanwhile, the world was in chaos, with Thanos and his Black Order wreaking havoc across the globe.
Wow, this is an insane universe.
People were desperate for a hero to save them, but no one seemed to have the strength or courage to stand up against the Mad Titan.
No way. Who's gonna be the hero?
Emma was torn between her loyalty to Sauron and her love for Voldemort, and she struggled to choose between the two. But as she delved deeper into her studies of psychology and law, that's us. She began to see the true nature of both men and the evil they represented. One day, Emma was approached by a little being known as the Child, or Grogu, who had come to her for help. Grogu had been on the run from Thanos and his forces, and he needed Emma's help to save the world from destruction. Emma knew that this was her chance for redemption. And she agreed to help Grogu. With the help of her friends and allies, Emma and Grogu set out to defeat Thanos, the power couple, and bring peace back to the world. As they traveled together, Emma and Grogu developed a deep bond. Oh my god. She realized that her love for him...
For Grogu.
Her love for Grogu was greater than anything she had felt for Sauron or Voldemort. Oh my gosh, Grogu's the third bit of the love triangle. It's not Thanos. She also saw the suffering of women and children everywhere.
Just to add on to that.
And she was determined to help them in any way she could. In the end, we skipped the fight apparently. Emma and Grogu were able to defeat Thanos.
Oh, wow.
And bring peace to the world. Thanos, by the way, which would have multiple Infinity Stones at this point.
Yeah.
Emma also made a choice between Sauron and Voldemort. choosing neither.
Imagine she just went back.
Instead, opting to devote herself to helping others. As she... Wait, not Grogu then.
Yeah, hang on. What? Grogu?
And as she and Grogu travelled the world, spreading love and hope wherever they went, she knew that she had found her true calling and her redemption.
Of course.
That might be one of the most beautiful stories.
Wow. It was so ambitious. It actually kind of landed.
It kind of landed, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what we should do now? We should do a story about if the DC and MCU overcrossed.
Oh, yeah. And
The crossover of the lifetime.
But then like evil Emma Watson
Right.
with the powers of psychology and law dismantles them.
All right, MCU, DCU, Batman, Superman. Who should represent Captain America? Iron Man. Obviously, we need a setting. I'm thinking
Chris
no,
Pine.
ancient Greece.
Ancient Greece. or like something like really small.
Vatican City.
Yeah, Vatican City.
Chris Pine should be in there as Chris Pine.
Yeah, as Chris Pine. Playing himself.
Chris Pine playing himself. I'll write that in there. What else would make this story great?
Gambling.
Gambling.
Addiction.
Neurosis.
Neurosis. A headless man.
A lightsaber.
Severus.
And obviously,
Snape.
the villain, Darth Vader.
Yeah. No. It's gotta be someone be like someone really innocent.
The villainous child Grogu.
Yeah. Or like the dark side of Chris Pine.
Oh my
he has
gosh.
two sides of
The
himself.
villainous
like,
Chris
Pine.
Pine. And I'll write innocent Chris Pine playing himself. We need a setting.
Really
We have
confusing.
Vatican City. Desperation.
Desperation.
Hunger.
Yeah, unforbidden love.
Wait, unforbidden or forbidden love?
Forbidden love.
Unforbidden. Permitted love.
Tri-racial issues.
No, I'm not putting that in there.
Vatican City riddled with
gender
racial
issues.
Gender issues.
Taylor Swift. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Saturday Night Live.
Chris Pine as a child.
Oh my gosh.
It's a really.
Bushfires. Feminism.
Yes, with a hint of the Celtic tradition.
The alt-right.
The old. Oh my god.
Riots.
Riots. Gun laws.
Forensics. Gun control debates. Okay, I think we should just do this with these prompts. Alright, let me put on my...
Let's see. Wow, it's going. Look at how fast it goes.
Oh my gosh, how did it know that? That's crazy. In a world where the MCU and the DCU coexist, tensions were high between superheroes and supervillains. The Vatican City was hosting a summit to discuss the ongoing debates over gun control and the rise of the alt-right.
Wow. Vatican City.
Batman, Superman, Captain America, and Iron Man were all in attendance. But the real surprise of the day was the appearance of innocent Chris Pine, who was playing himself in a movie about the summit.
The they're filming a movie. Wow.
No, I think it's just him. He's filming a movie. They're real.
They're actually real.
As the summit got underway, a headless man was found in one of the... A headless man was found in one of the Vatican's gardens. The heroes sprang into action, using their powers and skills to investigate the crime scene.
Wait, which hero? Just the hero?
Those 4 heroes we mentioned before.
Oh, those 4 heroes.
There's only 4.
Oh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chris Pine, who was grappling with his own neuroses, found himself drawn into a world of gambling and forbidden love. Meanwhile, the villainous Chris Pine had arrived in the city, determined to cause chaos and destruction.
They didn't separate. It's not one person. It's 2 people.
Well, I wrote it as 2 people, I think. Because so the evil Chris Pine, determined to cause chaos and destruction, with a lightsaber in hand, he began to wreak havoc, causing riots and panic to break out across the city. As the heroes struggled to keep up with the situation, they were also facing their own personal challenges. Captain America was grappling with gender issues. I'm done. Captain America with his gender issues. Whilst Iron Man was struggling with his own sense of desperation and hunger.
He was just hungry.
And as the bushfires raged on,
What?
the Vatican City was quickly becoming a powder keg, ready to explode at any moment. It was then that Taylor Swift's Shake It Off began to play.
In Vatican City.
And the heroes found themselves invigorated with a new sense of purpose.
Shake it off! Shake it off!
Shake off their issues, their gender issues.
Whoa!
With the help of the forensics team, they were able to track down the villainous Chris Pine and bring him to justice. But the real hero of the day was Chris Pine himself. Despite his own struggles, he found the courage to stand up for what was right, using his own experiences as a child and his love for Saturday Night Live to bring hope and light to a world that was in desperate need of it. And as the Vatican City was restored to peace, the heroes and villains alike knew that they had witnessed something truly remarkable. The power of hope, courage, and the feminist ideals.
What? Feminist.
I'll get out the last sentence again. The heroes and villains alike knew that they had witnessed something truly remarkable. The power of hope. I can't. The power of hope, courage, and the feminist ideals rooted in Celtic tradition. No way it ended with the feminist ideals rooted in Celtic tradition. No way, that's where it ended. That might be one of the best stories ever written.
Wow. What a journey.
That might be the best story ever written.
Wow.
I can't wait for the cinematic release of that film.
Of the 2 Chris Pines. What? How would you even start the movie? You could also make it write sitcoms or like different shows with different, because it has like fade in, you know. It has like a full on script. Yeah.
I'm saving those.
Oh,
they need to be. Those need to be preserved. 100%.
Yes. Oh, dude.
They are just amazing. Wow! It just with the help of AI, can you
So at the end of the movie, it would have
There was
like
no fight scene.
the forensics team comes in and helps save the day.
No, but after that, the real hero of the day was Chris Pine because his own struggles, he found the courage to stand up for what was right, using his own experiences as a child.
So he goes to the other Chris Pine and goes, "Remember." And also remember the feminist ideals in Celtic tradition.
Yeah. Which are the key?
Evil Chris Pine's like, whoa.
The key. The feminist ideals rooted in Celtic tradition. I am honestly inspired by that story.
Yes, I feel. Oh man.
We should make a film about it.
Yes. Okay. Should we do one more?
Yeah, we've got time for one more briefly. We'll make it quickly. I want to give it a genre, I reckon, at the start.
Okay.
Write me a horror film.
Ooh.
With these prompts. Horror story with these prompts. Okay, obviously a big talking point at the moment, environmentalism.
Yes.
What else, Ryan? I think a monkey with 3 eyes.
AIDS.
No. COVID.
Severus Snape.
Severus Snape, 100%.
Yeah. Who will be involved in all this?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Left wing leaning politics.
Power plays.
Power plays. Protein shakes. Creatine. And a strange wet spot on the carpet.
30,000 bears.
3 foot long bears.
3 foot long bears. They're just small bears.
I think we go.
And surfing.
2 raw eggs.
2
Surfing. All right. Our last story for the day, and we'll wrap it up. In a world where environmentalism was the main concern, a strange monkey with 3 eyes was discovered in the jungle. COVID was still raging, and people were on edge, afraid of what the future might hold.
Ooh. Okay.
Severus Snape. No, network error!
No. Okay, refresh.
I might report this software just for that.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I'm offended.
Once upon a time. Oh my gosh, it changed. It's new. It's new.
No way.
Once upon a time, in a world plagued by environmental disaster and the COVID pandemic, there lived a left-wing activist named Severus Snape.
Oh yeah, I remember him in the books to being pretty left-wing.
He was an avid Dungeons and Dragons player and was known for his love of protein shakes and creatine.
Known all around the world.
One day, while browsing the dark web, Severus stumbled upon a mysterious advert for a monkey with 3 eyes. Being a curious individual, he ordered the monkey and was shocked to find it delivered to his door the next day. Severus soon realized the monkey was not like any other he had ever seen.
Ooh, yeah, it's got 3 eyes, first of all.
It had a strange wet spot on its carpet. What? The monkey had a strange wet spot on its carpet.
It just pissed itself. That's all it did, Severus.
That seemed to be spreading and emitting a nauseating odor.
He just peed. He literally just peed on the carpet, Severus.
No, on its carpet. The monkey's carpet. Despite this, Severus was fascinated by the monkey's unusual abilities and decided to keep it as his pet.
It just peed on the carpet.
One day, while surfing, Severus was confronted by 30,000 3-foot-long bears who were surprisingly intelligent and spoke to him telepathically. They told him that the monkey was actually a powerful entity from another dimension and that the strange wet spot was actually a portal to its home. The bears warned Severus that if he did not get rid of the monkey, it would destroy the world. Severus was torn between his love for the monkey and his duty to protect the planet. Remember the left-wing leaning Severus? In a moment of desperation, he cracked open...
Wait, did it mention the left-leaning
No,
Severus?
I'm just bringing that up again.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I said at the start, left-wing activist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In a moment of desperation, Severus cracked open 2 raw eggs and threw them at the monkey, hoping to banish it back to its own dimension.
Why? Why the raw eggs?
To his horror, the monkey's power grew tenfold.
So it just spread them.
And it began to wreak havoc on the world. Power plays between nations broke out. And the planet was plunged into chaos. Severus realized too late that he had made a grave mistake, and that the only way to stop the monkey was to sacrifice himself and close the portal. With a heavy heart, Severus jumped into the portal, never to be seen again. The world was saved, but at a great cost. And from that day forth, the strange wet spot on the carpet became a legend. A warning of the dangers of playing with powers beyond our understanding. Finn.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
That might be just a fantastic story that Disney should make.
Yeah, I think the wet spot really, it really spoke to the
Why did the wet spot go from being the monkey's wet spot to just a wet spot?
yeah, to a wet spot that spread.
I loved it.
Oh, wow.
That might be some of the best ever.
Yes. Well, just really quick, just the power of this AI.
It's crazy powerful.
So, think of an essay that you had to write in uni.
Tell me about... Describe the ideal gas law.
Gas law?
As in, it's a science law.
Oh, okay.
The ideal gas law is a mathematical equation that describes the behavior of an ideal gas, which is a theoretical gas composed of a large number of small, non-interacting particles. The ideal gas law... This is going to be a nightmare for plagiarism.
Yes.
The ideal gas law is expressed as PV equals nRT, where P is the pressure of the gas. Okay, we don't need to see more. So powerful.
Right, we don't have to read the whole 2000 thing, but write a 2000 word on Carl Jung.
How do you spell that?
So CARL, and then
Is it JUNG?
Yeah, Carl Jung.
He's a mind of psychology, is he not?
Yes.
He was a Swiss psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going slower. Because it's synthesizing, I guess, instead of
Yeah,
BSing like the other one.
It's got to go into...
Young initially studied medicine at the University of Basel, but after reading the works of Sigmund Freud, he became fascinated. It's crazy. It's so crazy. All right, we need to wrap up this episode. Thank you for laughing with us. If you still stuck around, maybe this needs to be a tradition that we spend 3 minutes in every podcast episode and get a story.
So. Yeah, and if we can get prompts from people.
Yes, leave your prompts in the description, in the comment section of this video. That would be awesome. Or just send them to us. We'd love to.
For sure.
Give us prompts. Maybe give us 5 or 6 prompts, words.
And we'll combine all the prompts that people give us.
Yes.
Yeah.
A super Avengers story of different thoughts and crazy. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching and or listening to this episode. We love you lots. This has been Ryan and Jolene in.
You.
Good night. Good Arvo.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Love you.